Okay, guys and girls, good afternoon, good evening, good morning. For those of you who've never seen me before, my name is Bradley Marchant, and I just want to take the time to start off by thanking you for joining me on Valentine's evening. For those of you who are sat next to your loved ones right now, you're sat next to your partners, and they're wondering why you haven't taken them out. They're wondering why, the dinner's going cold on the side. Just let them know that it's going to be worth it. So if you're here watching this for the first time, you've never seen me before, drop a 1 in the chat. If you're a repetitive person, if you will, and you're here whenever I do these, drop a 2 in the chat and just let me know where you're from, where you're calling in from, and we're going to get started in under a second. If there's any people who should be on this call, who should be watching this live, I'd appreciate if you just send them the link, let them know we're good to go. Drop a like, drop a comment, drop a subscription, whatever it is, and we are going to get going. So for tonight, this is something that I'm super, super passionate about. For those of you who've not known me that long, you don't know too much about my background, my kind of upbringing, if you will. For the last 10 years, I've been heavily focused around mindset, personal development, and growth. I live out here in Marbella. I've been able to live full-time off of Forex trading since 2018, was able to quit my job and live off of it full-time from this beautiful device. So what I'm going to share with you tonight is some of the mindset, the psychology around trading, maybe why some of you are losing even though we're winning. And I'm also going to go deep into some layering training. And I know we had this very, very recently, but there were still a few people asking questions, the same questions over and over again. So I want to kind of reinforce this to you again. And while we're here, I want to share with you that past profits do not guarantee future results. I am not a financial advisor, and you cannot come into trading with your last dime and become a multi-trillionaire in 7 days. If that was possible, I wouldn't be doing these lives. I'd be fake DJing it on AI streams somewhere on multiple yachts from thousands of different locations, but that is not the case. So tonight, before we go into the training, before we go into, some of the actual stuff that I want to show with you on the chart, I actually want to go into a little bit of the kind of mindset and psychology that you're going to require to become a top level trader, to become someone who can become profitable in the markets. Because I've shared this with you guys multiple times that to get successful in this industry, to become someone who can pull money out of the charts day in, day out, you have to become numb to trading. You have to remove your emotions out of the game as quickly as you can. You have to become detached from the financial outcome. And unfortunately, in this space, that's very, very hard to do. Unless you're coming at this with a lot of money and you don't necessarily care what it is that you're doing, you're going to have that emotional attachment to the price of the chart moving up and down. You may be someone right now that's been out with your friends, your families, your loved ones over the last couple of days, or you might be going out this weekend to celebrate Valentine's Day, or it might be a birthday, it might be a celebration. But you easily spend 200, 300, 400, 500 pounds going out, drinking, doing all this other stuff, and you don't think about it, right? I've been out and dropped a lot of money on a table, on a restaurant bill, on drinks, on an experience, and my brain doesn't kick in how it used to do with trading. And this for me is something that I had to remove at the early start of my journey, because if I hadn't have done that, I would never have made any money. Am I still a little bit emotionally attached to income? Yes. Am I still a little bit emotionally attached to money? 100%. But that's because the levels that I'm now playing at are different than when I first started. I'm someone who, when I first got started in this game, I would see what is now a bag of skips. For those of you who know, I love prawn cocktail crisps, right? A bag of prawn cocktail skips are the best. I used to watch my account balance in like minus £1.15. My heart would be beating. I'd have 65,000 trades open, and I'd be driving down the motorway looking at my phone. For any of you who are in CID right now, you're in the police, you should have caught me then. You can't do anything about it now. It is what it is, right? But I was that guy who was emotionally attached to the outcome of the trade. I was checking my phone, blowing at my phone, making it try and move up in candles, or try and tap the top of the phone to make it go down, right? I was that guy. And I want to share this from the bottom of my heart that if you are that right now, you are not alone. You're not a weirdo. You're not sat there in any type of way. This is part of the journey. The quicker you can address that, the quicker you can realize that it's okay, right? We're all human beings. We don't like losing money. You know, I'm the type of person who'll check down the side of everyone's couch when I sit on it. I find a pound, I'm buzzing, right? I want to make money. I have my podcast studio here in Marbella. I have the membership club. We're shooting a film right now. For those of you who are following me on Instagram, you know, and I've got the Forex trading stuff, right? So life is good, but you have to remove the emotion. You have to remove almost you out of the equation as quickly as you can. Because if you're not willing to do that, you're going to keep losing money. And I want you, if you're watching this right now, the 68 of you sexy motherfuckers on this call who, I'm not sure if some of you are single or some of you would rather watch me than talk to your partner, right? But I want you to be honest in the chat. Are you emotionally attached to your trades? Do you sit and watch that chart go up and down, up and down, up and down when you should be doing something else? I want you to say yes in the chat and be honest with yourself, right? No one in here is going to look and look up Georgia Pine, John Barker, Aga, Bilal. No one's going to look up you and go, fucking hell, this person's a liar. The only person you're going to lie to is you. If you cannot accept that you are that person, it's going to take you another 12 months, 18 months, another 2 years, another 3 years, another 5 years, right? Because if I was that person, and I'm okay admitting that, because that was my biggest downfall. I was micromanaging the trade, and I didn't have a fucking clue what I was doing. I was sat there driving, staring at my chart all day, watching my MetaTrader balance flicker up and down, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, red, blue, thinking, shit, like I might make some money out of this one day. But I didn't address a lot of the other stuff that had happened in my life. My granddad's addiction to money, how that had affected me, how he lost everything when I was a young age, how he passed that mindset into my mum, the psychology around money, how she treated money, how my dad treated money, how my mum and dad were with money, what that impressed upon me, my friends' relationships to money. All of that has an effect on you as an adult. And it's the same with relationships. For the women on the call right now, you know, I want you to look at the relationships. You might be single on Valentine's Day. And this is why I'm pressing this home. You might be sat there right now as a guy or a girl, and you say, everyone's the same. Every guy that I meet's the same. Every girl that I meet's the same. Yes, they are, because you're constantly attracting that into your life, whether you believe it or not. And I'm here to tell you that it's the same with trading. It's the same with your results. It's the same with the outcome on everything that you're getting, right? I am a big believer in the biblical scriptures, if you will. Write the vision, make it plain, so he who sees can run. If you do not see the vision of you becoming a successful trader, if you're always focusing on the negatives, the bad outlook of trading, of, oh, what if this one goes wrong, right? This is where a lot of you will fail, because the results, you guys have seen the statistics. You guys have seen the win rate. You guys have seen win after win, win after win, success after success, people quitting the job. Like I've just had Taylor over here for 3 days, right? Gone from literally knee deep in shit, neck deep. In fact, I'm going to try and find this video, right? This is what this is about. And I don't know if you guys can see this, right? Hopefully you can. But this here was Taylor. He's in a container full of shit. Look, right? This was him 12 months ago. In a container full of shit. Fast forward to now, quit his job, traveling the world. Because he had that mindset shift that he deserved more. He started thinking differently, started surrounding himself with different people, right? Started understanding that this is a vehicle as long as he removes himself. Because wherever you are right now in life, income is directly 100% correlated to you. You can blame your mum, your dad, your grandma, your granddad, your neighbors, your best friends, your high school teacher, your fucking kindergarten teacher, whatever it is. There is always someone that you can put the blame on, right? But once you take that true ownership and you say, right, my outcome is a direct correlation to me. Whatever I think, whatever I speak, trust me, I can talk about weird shit and I start getting it. I'm launching this year a movie in Marbella. A movie. I don't know nothing about movies, right? But I've positioned myself with people who do. I've given my value of what I'm good at to get me into that circle, to get me into that room, to start that, that thing moving forward. If you do not believe that you can become a successful trader, if you do not believe you can become profitable, you will become whatever you think. Earl Nightingale, The Strangest Secret. It's literally our thoughts. And a lot of you might be like, well, Bradley, whatever it is that you're thinking, why is that the case? Why do you talk about mindset so much? Why do you talk about, the other things that go on? Why do you talk about the mindset and how we think instead of buying and selling, the charts? Because 99% is this. Pressing buy and sell on your mobile phone and putting in some coordinations is the easy part. But you have to look at where you are right now. If you're sat earning 3,000 a month, 4,000 a month, 5,000 a month, that is the value that you are putting out into the market, right? And I guarantee there's a lot of you on here right now that are sat, that have had a great month. You've earned more money. And this is all to do with your financial thermostat. I'm a big believer in this type of stuff, right? You might be earning 3K a month, but you got a bonus, you got a pay rise, you got something else along the way. And again, I want you guys to write this in the chat if this shit relates to you, because this is the type of stuff that I have studied for a decade plus. I'm not in a position where I'm right now by coincidence. It's because I'm putting things together, the pieces of the puzzle that make sense, that they do not teach you in school, in a job, in any form of like academic route. They don't teach this. So if you're sat there right now, drop a 1 in the chat if you've blown an account before. I want you to drop a 2 in the chat if you've been close. I want you to drop a 3 in the chat if you've been margin called, right? This is the stuff here that I want you to understand, because this stuff here will keep happening again and again and again and again and again and again and again until you address it. Am I sitting here painting the perfect picture that Bradley Marchant is the best trader in the world? No. I used to get margin called left, right, and center. I didn't know what it meant. I used to just get an email, margin call, margin call, margin call, margin call. I'd get like 72 of them. I'm like, what the fuck? Why Advantage emailing me 72 times, but then leaving me a little bit of money left? I never used to understand it. But now I've removed myself out of that paradigm, and Bradley Marchant doesn't lose money, right? That's how my brain has to think, because if I start attracting in negative, my life will become that. That's why I'm a true believer that who you surround yourself with, who you speak to, who you have conversations with, how you think, how you speak, how you talk, everything. And a lot of people are saying, oh, law of attraction, it's this. It is, but it goes deeper than that. You can cut off your arm, your legs, everything, and you can tell to molecular structure why it does what it does, why my fingers move, why does the heart beat how it does. But you can't tell me, if you cut this open, why I think how I think. So if we dive from that into trading, because if we come into this, and again, this is where journaling, most of you think journaling's bullshit, because I used to do. I didn't used to think it was real. I used to think writing my emotions and my thoughts down on a piece of paper isn't real. But again, scripture, write the vision, make it plain so he who sees can run. So I used to journal at the beginning of my journey how I was feeling. The morning that I woke up, when I was placing trades, like what was my mindset and my thought processes on them days? And again, I want you guys to look at this. I want you to answer this honestly in the chat. Have you ever traded when you've had an argument, when you've had a bit of road rage, when you've argued with your partner, when you've been late for work, when you've been late for a meeting, when you've been late to pick up your kids, when your kids have pissed you off, when you've burnt the tea, right? All of this stuff here is things that you need to be aware of, because there's them little knock-on effects. that one thing happens and it completely shifts how you think for the rest of the day. I know because I'm emotionally intelligent enough to understand that there's things that trigger me. I've got people here in Marbella that trigger the living daylights out of me, so I can't spend time with them. I can't go for lunch with them. I can't even brush past them. I've got things that happen whilst I'm driving, right? So what I started to do, I started to make a journal, right? And I'd be like, right, shit, I've just had an argument. I've just done this. I've just stubbed my toe. I've just got pissed off with someone. I've just done this. Loss, 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 loss. Right. So whenever any of these things happen, sit on my hands, don't trade. Sit on my hands, don't trade. I started to understand all of this. So then when I can look at the trading side of this and I can be like, right, this is how it works. Because we're doing the hard lifting for you. You're not having to sit on charts for 12, 13, 14 hours a day. I did that for 6 years. And it's not a lifestyle. These people who are on social media that I used to look up to, that were telling me they were doing all this chart work, 50, 60, 70 hours a week. Fuck that. I want to make money. I want to make it the easiest and simplest way possible. And I want to empower and educate other people to be able to do exactly the same as me. I want to be able to live a lifestyle where I don't have to check my phone. I don't have to clock in or clock out. And my goal is to help as many people as possible have that conversation about, like, Brad, I'm quitting my job. But you're not going to get to that position until the emotion, the mindset, the psychology is all on point. It's not going to happen overnight. You're not going to get into this position real quick, and it's not going to happen in a day, in a week, in a month, because there's things that you haven't addressed yet. There might be relationship issues with your parents, with your mum, your dad, your sister, your brother, your nana, your granddad. All of this stuff comes into play when you're going to that next level. So whilst you're on this journey, whilst you're coming on this, because it is a journey, most of you that are watching this right now won't be here in 6 months, let alone 60 days. Right? And this is me just being dead honest truth. Like, drop in the chat. I want you guys to write this. There's 71 of you on this call right now, right? I want you to write in the chat how long you've been here trading within the community. A week, a day, a month, 3 months, 6 months, 9 months, 12 months. Because I guarantee people tell me all the time, Bradley, you talk about the same shit week in, week out, day in, day out. You talk about the same stuff. Yet most of you won't implement it, right? And this is the funny part. Most won't. This is why I was coached by Bob Proctor for 6 years before he passed away. For those of you who know Bob Proctor, absolute legend, fucking genius in the online world when it comes to mindset. I used to go to his events. I was paying obscene amounts of money. And I used to look and think, the first 3 or 4 times I was like, this is the fucking same as last time. And I used to just sit there like, I've heard this so many times. Next one. I've heard this as well. I go again. I've heard this. It's the same as last time. I'm spending money. I'm spending flights, accommodation, all this shit every time. And then I got into the private room and I was like, Bob, why do you say the same things at every event? He went, how much of the last event have you implemented? Notepad out. Actually, none of it. Yeah, none of it. Yeah. He's like, right, exactly. He said, so what happens is there's 100 people in the room. Out of that, 70% never come back because they take the information, they try and implement it, they stub the toe, they never come back. So that 30% are there at the next event. Then there's 100 people again, right? Out of that 30%, it drops down to 10, so on and so on. You eventually filter out a very, very core group of people. That is exactly the same as trading. Some of you have wrote in here that you're here for 8 months, 6 months, 2.5 months, 6 months. In fact, I'm not going to point this out, but someone who's just written that they've been here for a fair while, you're still in my fucking inbox telling me that you're over leveraging, telling me that you're gambling, telling me that you're blowing account after account after account after account. You've been through all the school, you've been through all the education, you've watched the content, you've had conversations with me, right? And you're still doing it. So this tells me that this isn't sinking in, right? So if you can understand that this is a journey that you have to go on, the amount of money that you can earn in this space is obscene. I've got friends of mine making multiple 6 figures a week, 7 figures a week, trading the same shit that we are. The only problem is they're in a position where it's a little bit different, where it's a little bit further down the line, where they're a little bit. 1 second. Okay, guys, Mike is buggered out. He's cutting out. Okay, let me just check. It's fine now. We're good. We're back. Audio issues, technical issues. It's because there was that much sauce. Close and reopen. Refresh. Smile. There we go. But this is the shit that, again, we're doing it on a consistent basis. And what I want to do now is I'm going to go into a screen share. So listen, right? This might bug out because my laptop is I don't know if she's on her last legs, bless her, but she's making a lot of noise right now. So let's all put some love hearts in the chat for the laptop because I'm going to go into a screen share right now. I'm going to break down this morning's trade and exactly how you could have taken this exact trade as well. So there's 82 of you here right now. I want you to put some love hearts in here. I want you to put some thumbs up and we're good to go. So I'm going to share my screen, entire screen. Allow, bump. Okay, be good. You should be able to see me right now. Just MX, can you just check this for me on your side, bro, just to make sure that there is audio, there is sound in the mix. Once I get the all clear, we're good to rock and roll. I'm going to check from my side as well. We can hear it. I heard myself go. So if you guys can't hear me right now, it's an issue on your end. In fact, MX, if you can write that in the chat and just say, listen, guys, if you're having audio issues, it's on you. Okay. So this here is a trade that was sent this morning at 8:06 a.m. my time. So that's 7:06 for the UK. We had 1, 2, 3 take profits and take profit 4, which is open, which means it could have gone all the way up here, right? Lagging. Okay, let me see if I can try and maybe turn off my camera. 1 second. Lag. 2 seconds. 2 seconds. We good? Okay. It might be my still cutting in and out. The recording will be good. Okay. Let me just sort this out here. Go back into screen share. Okay, it's okay. There's enough people here saying it's okay, so fuck it. We're good to go. Anyway, so this was at 8:06 a.m. this morning. Once my laptop catches up with itself, we'll be good to go. So this was at 8:06. We can see here this morning, the candle was formed, the entry was sent. And then off the back of that, this is where we're looking for. We have stop loss down here, okay, at 2926. We have entry zones between 2933 and 2929, okay? So the entry zones are here, here, here. In fact, let me zoom in ever so slightly so we can see this, okay? We have entry zones here, 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 basically every 10 pips, right? And this is where I want you guys to really understand this, because once you get the hang of this, this is how this style of trading can be very, very beneficial. Like a lot of people say, what's the risk to reward, yada, yada, yada. The win ratio that we have is staggering, right? I've been in this space a hell of a long time, and I've not witnessed anything like this. If you can just check audio as well while we're going on MX, please. It's good, yeah? Okay, just checking. So here we have an entry at 2933. So what this means here is we would have entered this trade at 2933, right? So we're entering. And this is where you guys want to get good at this. Don't be the person who, I'm just going to do this here. If you're trading at 0.01 and you're layering, right? The next trade wants to be 0.01, layer. The next trade wants to be 0.01, layer. But then what I'm going to share with you here is the next trade, you might feel a bit ballsy. You might do 0.05, layer, right? You might do 0.05, layer. You might do 0.05, layer. Then what's going to happen? This one's going to lose. I'm just using this as an example right now. You lose this trade. But then guess what you do next? And this is why a lot of you are losing. The next trade, you go back to 0.1 and you layer. 0.01 and you layer. 0.01 layer. Okay, this is just an example. So what happens here is you're actually now, you need 5 extra trades to bring this back. So what you need to do is pick a lot size that works for you, for your account balance, and you need to remain consistent on every single trade. So we can see here, 806 was the entry. Let's look at the next one, right? Okay, we're still in the zone. Great stuff. Next trade, still nowhere near take profits. This is 5, 10, 15 minutes, right? Next one. So now look at this candle, right? So this one, we enter another trade here on this entry. We enter another trade here on this entry. So this is, I'm just going to walk through this with you guys step by step. So now for this trade, oops, it is. So for this trade here, if it comes back to entry, it's going to be 10, 20 pips up in profit, okay? If this trade, this one here, where the smiley face is, comes back to entry, that is plus 10 pips, which leaves this trade here at break even, 0. So this is where layering is very, very key, because now if this trade here goes to this bit, we're now from 31 to 34.5. That's going to be 35 pips. This one will be 25 pips. This one will be 15 pips. So this exact trade would make you 35 plus 25 plus 15, right? So you guys who are going to do quick maths, you can type that into the chat. That's exactly what would happen. So let's just play this out, shall we? So now it's been 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes. We've entered into 1, 2, 3 positions. So a lot of you are saying, well, Bradley, what if I missed this? What if, I just looked at my phone, it's down here and I didn't enter this one? Enter. Until the trade gets up here, you can layer all the way down. So you can enter let's say you enter here at 806. You can put a buy limit on at 30, 32, 31, 30, 29, and have all of your take profits at 34.5. Okay? Is this making sense? Put a yes in the chat, put a no in the chat. If it's not, we'll keep learning, right? So here, if this went all the way down to here, this went all the way down to 29, that would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 55 pips. This one would be 45 pips, 35 pips, 25 pips, 15 pips. Hopefully this is making sense to you guys as I'm going through this, because this is where layering gets very, very powerful. So we can see here that currently we're in 1, 2, 3 trades. Okay. So we write trade 1 will be, if we hit TP1, it's 15 pips. If we hit trade 2, it's 25 pips. At TP1 is 25 pips. And then if we hit trade 3, goes to TP1, it's 35 pips. That would give this trade a total of 30, 60, 75 pips, which at 0.01 would be £7.50. Okay? All of the stop losses are the same. So here, the stop loss would be from 33 to 26. That would be 10, 20, 30, 40, 60 pips. Okay? Then it'd be 50 pips, 40 pips, 30 pips, 20 pips, or so on, right? You get the gist. So this is the key here when you're looking at trading. You want the layering to stack up, because when it pushes to TP1, to TP2, so here, what we happen to do, so you see how this trade, the next 5 minutes, pings back up, back to entry. So if you're a nervous trader and you're someone who is looking at your phone all the time, you can bank the profits. Okay? So here, it hadn't hit take profit 1. But this trade here, let's have a look. This trade from here is now 10, 20, probably 32 pips up. This trade here from this smiley face is 10, probably 20 pips up. This one is 10 pips up. So what you could do at this point is close all of them trades in profit, even though it's not hit take profit. So even though take profit 1 hasn't been hit, 1, 2, 3 profitable trades. Okay? So for me personally, that's how I would like to do it. I like to get in between. So like for me, I like to look in between here. That's like my happy medium. For those of you who know, I don't really like break even. I'm not a break even fan. So for me, what I'm looking for is between TP1 and TP2. It's kind of my area. So these can be set as buy limits. So if the market would have come all the way down here, you'd have had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 trades triggered because it's between 29 and 33. So you would have had 29, 30, 31, 32, and 33. In this case here, we only triggered 33, 32, 31. Is this making sense? Drop a 1 in the chat if it's making sense. If it's not, you're new here, this is fine. So we send out these trades with a parameter here. What we're looking for, all of the stop losses are the same. So this stop loss is the same as this one. This stop loss is the same as this one, and so on and so on, right? All of the take profits are the same. So if you're a nervous trader, if you're a bit anxious, if you're looking at your phone all the time, right? Statistically, 91 to 93% of our trades hit take profit 1, right? And we're still working out the statistics on TP2, TP3, and so on, right? But in this scenario, did we hit TP1? No. So that gave, and again, this is a great sign. What if I missed it? So I saw the trade, Bradley, 8:06, but I was at work. I was doing this. It's now 5. Let me see what time this is on here. So 8:06, we're now 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 minutes later. The trade, you've not entered yet. If it hasn't hit TP1, the trade is still valid, right? So here, you could have re-entered at smiley face 1, smiley face 2. Does that make sense? So then, if we go forward, we're still around entry, and then we go to hit TP1. So 40 minutes later, we eventually hit take profit 1. So here, if you got in when we mentioned, you'd have had 45 pips, 35 pips, 25 pips, and so on, right? Sorry, 15 pips, 25 pips, 35 pips. My maths aren't mathing. Yeah, 35 pips. That's right. Tired as fuck. Right. So here, now take profit 1 has been hit. If the trade was to come all the way down here, the trade isn't valid anymore. This is where you need to be clever. If you put buy limits on, you need to go on and delete them. Take profit 1's been hit. All of these trades should be out, unless you're comfortable holding them, and I'll share that in a second. But go and delete buy limit, go and delete the buy limit. Because if not, if the market tanks all the way down and it triggers, you're in the trade, right? You're still in the mix. So if we look at this here and just actually watch how this trade ended up playing out, go for a few hours, yes, it might have bounced all the way back down. But what if your take profit is take profit 2, right? Then yes, you could have got in nicely here and ended up going and running all the way through to take profit 3. But here's a question. Do you have the emotional and kind of patience to sit and wait for 3 hours and 35 minutes staring at your phone? If the answer for that for you is no, this is where targeting take profit 1, getting the small wins, being consistent will smash your account to bits in regards to profit over time. And that's a good thing, by the way, sorry. You get used to doing this over and over again, over and over again, over and over again, and hitting just TP1, TP2, TP1, TP2, TP1, TP2. Now, people are like, Bradley, well, should I set this one as take profit 1, this one as take profit 2, this one as take profit 3? No, because if the market falls, this one here is better just hitting take profit 1 because it's got more weight behind it monetary wise. This one here has got more weight than this one. So eventually you get so used to just taking the trades, taking small wins, taking small growth. And this is actually the problem when it comes to trading. So many of you want to hit the home run. So many of you want, that legacy win. You want to be able to show your friends, look, I made fucking 19 grand today off of $5, right? So many of you aren't willing to be patient enough to get the wins. And that is actually what's stopping you getting the growth on your account. You get growth, you get greedy. You blow your account. You get growth, you get greedy, it wins. So then that false hero kicks in, that false I'm invincible kicks in. It'll work. I've shared this with you guys many a time. I traded a £500 account to 42K. This still pains me to talk about. I lost 42,000 in 2 hours trading Dow Jones. 2 hours. Because I was invincible. I was going to make $1 million, right? The way I was going, I was turning 5 into 1,000, 1,000 into 3, 3 into 10, 10 into 20, 20 into 40. I was like, man, this is sick. Trading's easy. What are all these other peasants talking about that they can't trade? Reality check, money gone, start again, right? And so many of you are going through this vicious cycle over and over and over and over and over again that you're not learning from the mistakes. You're not learning from the actual patterns. And this is the thing where human beings, if you look at, okay, I don't want to go too deep on this call about how we are as human beings. We have 5 senses, right? But we've also got other things like will, intuition, reasoning, all that other good stuff that as a human being, we're empowered with. If you look, and again, I go watch this. Go look at an ant's colony. This might be super weird to talk about. But an ant does not think about anything other than the task that it is given. And you see them all follow each other, right? There's a pattern. They're not thinking about anything other than what they are put on this planet to do. We can go do what we want. We can drink, we can smoke, we can do drugs, we can do this, we can do that, turn up late when we want, we can be angry to people, we can punch people, we can fight people, we can disrespect people. And, the law right now, shit. So if you understand that as a human being, if we just follow set parameters, remove us, remove the human being that's got all the negative attached to it. If we just look at it from a trading perspective, entry, right? We enter here. The stop loss is here. If it goes the wrong way, we lose. It's part of the game. But again, 91 to 93%. Again, past profits do not guarantee future results, but 91 to 93% of the time, we hit take profit 1. So if you know that watching this call, if you're new here watching this call, right? So when it's, and again, people are asking about buy limits and sell limits. I have all of this in school. If you're new, basically a buy limit means that we enter here. If it goes down, it triggers us into the trade. If it goes down, it triggers us into the trade. If it goes down, it triggers into the trade. There's a lot of good videos on here around trading. There's one that's got like 3,500 views. Again, watch that. So once you start to see this over and over again, you start to see that pattern, you start to see the consistency, you start to see you getting some growth. Don't be toxic to yourself, right? Don't be that person who like pisses on your own parade, if you will, angers yourself because you over leverage, you gamble, you overtrade, you do all the other stuff that we're teaching you and telling you not to do. Layer effectively. We have a gap of 40 pips, right? Enter, 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 stop loss. So when it swings, gravy. If it is stop loss, we lose 2, 3, 4%. However many trades you enter, 1% risk per each one. So if we're entering 4 times, 1%, 1%, 1%, 1%. Great. If that's what you're happy to lose. My average trades are 5 to 7% risk per trade that we send out inside the community. So market execution is instant execution. That means it's going to happen the moment that you press buy or sell. A buy limit is down to go up. A sell limit is up to go down. And again, I'll do more trading on this, as a lot of you guys have asked for. I'm in the middle of working on a boot camp to kind of share with you guys a little bit of the in-depth stuff around layering, around the psychology, the mindset around trading, and what it is that you guys can get here. So, this has been 40 minutes, probably a little bit longer than I actually wanted to do, on tonight's call. But I just want to say I appreciate every single one of you tuning in. We got up to 103 people at one point, but then as soon as the charts went off, a lot of you dipped out. But this is why a lot of you want to become successful traders. A lot of you want to make money. A lot of you want the answers. You're in my inbox, right? Asking me questions. You're in support's inbox, asking questions. Yet we dip out before it finishes. So if you think of the psychology of the average human being, they're scatty. They're all over the place. They're trying to get the wins. They know rent's due in a week's time. They know that Valentine's Day is tonight and they don't have the money that they want to do to treat their partner like the king or the queen that they are, right? This is the thing in my mindset. And again, I live this every single day. I use Valentine's Day because it is today as an example. Your life should be like that every day. I shouldn't have to treat my girlfriend to one night of the year because we're in a relationship, because someone put it on a fucking calendar to make me spend more money, to make me go out and eat nice food. I do that every day. So if you're sat here right now watching this and you're in a position where you want this to work, plug in, shut the fuck up, remove your emotions, and be a grown-ass adult. Some of you, this might be a little bit too real. It might be a little bit too raw for you, but I need you to hear it. And again, if this is hurting you right now, what I'm saying, good, because you're not going to be here in 30 to 60 days anyway, right? I need you to hear this to your core and be like, right, I need to remove me. I need to remove my emotions. I need to remove every version of me that is where I am right now as a human being. Because if you're in a position where you don't like what you do, you don't like the income that you're earning, you don't like the people that you're around, you don't like the network that you've got, everything else like that, it's on you. If you're losing every trade, if you're blowing accounts, again, it's on you. Most of the time, you cannot be disciplined enough to follow the instructions, follow the trades, follow the entries, follow the stop losses. You over leverage, you adjust your stop loss. In fact, those of you watching right now, this week, since Monday, and I want you honest ones. I want the honest ones on this right now. Who has adjusted their stop loss at least once? Whether it's a trade that we've sent out or a manual trade. Who's adjusted the stop loss at least once? You got a little bit itchy bum, right? We'll see the real ones are in the channel. See the real ones are in the chat. Me. Bear in mind, I'm gonna call Adele out on this one, right? Adele's never blown an account, she said. It's because she adjusts the stop loss, puts more money in the account. Right? Some of you in here, right, you're tripping up over your own sentences, right? I'm just joking, Adele. You know, I've got love for you. But this is the thing, right? A lot of you in here are saying, you know, like you're here to follow the system. You're the ride or die. Some of you have been here 6, 9, 12 months, yet you're still doing the same stuff, right? You're still doing the same things that keeps blowing the accounts because you don't want to let go of the losses. You don't want to let go of, my bad, Adele. There was an Adele, Adel, Adel. Might be Adel. Is that right? Am I saying your name wrong? Shit, my bad. Adele, Adel, whatever it is, you're a liar. Right? But this is the shit that you guys need to hear. For those of you who get to know me more, I'm real, I'm raw, I'm to the point, because ultimately I'm not here to blow smoke up your asses. I'm not here to give you the fluff and tell you that everything's going to be okay trading, because if you're doing all these little things, you're fucked. I might as well send you my PayPal link and you just transfer me money every month, because I'll do better with it. I'll put it to better use, right? If you guys are sat here blowing account after account after account, in fact, I'm going to even put my PayPal link in here. For anyone who watches this back, who wants to donate some money, I'm going to put it in there and I'll give it to a fucking dog sanctuary or something like that, or a children's home or something. But guys and girls, I appreciate you all jumping in, tuning into this. I'm going to start coming back with these lives. Again, for those of you who are still watching, if you want me to continue doing these lives, let me know in the live chat right now. And if there's not enough, I'm not coming back. Okay. Oh, I've earned a subscriber, ladies and gentlemen. On that note, Lewis Moore, I will pay you after this. Drop a subscription to Bradley Marchant and help me get to 1,000 subscribers. Okay? That's what I'm aiming for right now. I started off last year on 469 people. I'm now at God knows how many, but it was 900 and something this morning. So guys and girls, I appreciate you all. Have a blessed evening. I look a little bit red because I've been sat in the sun all day at Sip and Smoke, smoking cigars. You'll see the video after this. But 929, Lewis, sick. 71 people away from 1,000. I forgot the comp winner. Fucking hell, I did. Let me go on my Instagram now. I'm going to pick it while we're here. There's Adele. I'll get my ass kicked if I don't do this. Okay, let me go on to here. Okay. Competition winner, please. Some of you guys are fucking on me. Like, let me get it onto here. I had the Wheel of Fortune written up, right? Okay, Wheel of Names. So on here, on the Wheel of Names, I'm going to write all this out because I want to make sure. So basically, I did a competition for my second to last Instagram post. Okay, my second to last Instagram post was me sharing the results with inside the community, what it is that we do, and I just for you guys to show some love. So let me just go write down some names right now, and let me just sort this. Put the gallery in there. Boom, boom. You're gonna have to see my. Let me go on to here. I'm going to write these out. There's 42 people that are on here. Okay. In fact, I can't use that one because it's not the right one. Oh, damn, I missed. Listen, if you want to go show some love real quick while I end this off, I'm going to clip this end bit out anyway. But if you guys want to go show some love real quick on my Instagram, you're more than welcome to. Wheel of Names. Here we go. Wheel of Names. I need to write all the names out real quick. I should have been a bit more prepared from this, but I have ADHD and my life is chaotic at the best of times. So we've got Kirsten on there. We've got Angelica. We have Alex. We have Torsten. Some random names on here. Reese. We have Pullen. These are just Instagram names, by the way. We've got Kenny, Nicola. We've got Steve R. We've got Sheparach, Mama's Life, Kirsten. I think I've got Kirsten on, not putting her on twice. She's the one who's hounding me for this. Hounding me, she is. Leeds, Christina. Oh, some of you are copying. You're writing in the chat. I appreciate it. Stephanie Nesta. For those of you still here listening in, I know you're the ride or the die ones that are just keeping the love here right now. Dan _ Yell. Man, there was a lot of you that commented. I appreciate it. Esther. Ant. Cindy _ loves. Chummy. I'm not going to write all the Instagram out, but you know what I mean. Reese Cam. Kelly. 21B. Matthew Weinstein. Nathan. Meza. Zed Samp. Corner Rock. S10 EUR. And Adele Thompson just did it 3 seconds ago, just because she knew she was going to win. Right. And Mary said that she's not heard her name. She was Meza. There we go. Right. Okay, so we're going to spin the wheel of names, all right? I'm not going to do this on here, but I'm just going to spin it. You can hear it spinning in the background, hopefully. And the winner is... I don't know if I can turn this round to you so you guys can see it. 1 second. Let me go to my YouTube. Can you see that? It says... Oh, shit. Can't see shit on there. The winner was Ant. Don't know if you guys can see that. Ant was the first winner. So I'll message on there. Remove spinning. You got $50, by the way. If you're watching this right now, I'll message you either way. The next spin is for another $50. And it is for Mama's Life, which I think is Karen Devison. I believe. I think so. So, guys and gals, I appreciate you all. My apologies that wasn't done 24 hours afterwards. If you could see the calendar, the shit that's going on here in the studio, which you will real soon when I post the next video, the next snippet of stuff that we're doing right now with inside the studio. It looks sick. The downstairs is done. The co-working space is done. The whiskey and cigar lounge is done. And the other side is finished. So literally, we are good to go right now. This room looks insane. I'm very, very excited. So yeah, I appreciate you all. I don't know, I'm leaning forward into this, but I appreciate you all jumping in. If you can, go subscribe, go like, go comment. Once this goes live, I want you to go show love. For me personally, I could do these Zoom calls and just put them into school, but I'm wanting to build my YouTube channel. So anyone who's got this far, the engagement is appreciated. I shouldn't. I'm not saying that. The engagement is appreciated. All right. So, guys and gals, much love. Enjoy the rest of your Valentine's evening. Put a film on. If you haven't already watched it, watch Yellowstone. It's sick. And yeah, I'm very, very excited for what's to come. I've got a lot in the pipeline right now. So I'll see you all very soon. Deuces. Bye-bye.